One of the most enduring medical dramas in history, Grey's Anatomy has received a great deal of recognition and appreciation. Even if the program no longer has the same atmosphere as it had in its first season, viewers still find pleasure in its intricate love triangles and tragic situations. However, it appears that the captivating characters and storylines of this popular procedural will keep drawing viewers. Despite all of its advantages, Grey's Anatomy frequently goes too far. Some things make the audience laugh instead of keeping them on the edge of their seats, whether it's a fast-paced romance or an unfathomable medical mystery. However, supporters simply accept this as part of the show's overall appeal, despite the fact that it might occasionally make viewers shudder. Meredith's peers make a valiant attempt to save her life when she is unintentionally shoved underwater by a patient. Everyone is beginning to lose hope as the physicians battle to raise her body temperature. Izzy Stevens, however, gives her companions an impassioned speech that inspires them to persevere. According to Stevens, she has faith in their capacity to cure Grey. However, she also enumerates a number of other pointless items, such as her conviction that the calories don't count if she consumes an entire tub of butter without anybody noticing. Even if Stevens' comedy is now appreciated by the crowd, it seems a little out of place given that Meredith is struggling for her life in the background. While there have been many tragic situations on Grey's Anatomy, Denny Duquette's heart issue was one of the most tragic. Duquette was trapped in a little hospital bed and, while he was a pretty young guy, he could hardly see the end of the tunnel. He describes himself as, "I'm a man," in one case, to vent his fury. "I am a man of strength and virileness." It's difficult for the audience to take Denny seriously, despite the fact that his condition is really problematic and that fans feel terrible for him. Given what he's gone through, it seems without saying that he would feel emasculated, but his word choice was a touch excessive. All things considered, it appears that Denny needed some confidence following his string of medical issues. Fans appreciate Jo Wilson mostly because of her kindness and tenacity. However, her manner turned off viewers when she originally took over as chief resident in season 14. She chooses to rehearse her opening remarks in front of the mirror rather than walking into her new job with her head held high. In addition to being extremely cliché, this portrays Wilson as an accomplished professional rather than an uncomfortable adolescent on her first day of school. Wilson's speech was supposed to be strong and highlight his stubborn personality, but it completely backfired. Supporters would want to witness Wilson in her authentic splendor rather than being exposed to cliched topics. Many supporters find it difficult to go past this period, despite the fact that she has shown herself to be a brilliant force. Despite their admiration for one another, Meredith Grey and George O'Malley's pairing did not impress admirers. Grey seemed unconcerned and eager to continue her day as O'Malley was pinning over his colleague. However, Meredith breaks down in tears when they hook up a second time. This is a really awkward scene that fails to adequately convey the necessity for permission during intercourse. George is severely disturbed by the entire experience, even though Meredith assures him that she is well. It's possible that the purpose of this scenario was to evoke sympathy for Meredith, but instead, viewers witnessed her controlling George. The fact that neither the physicians nor the fans of Grey's Anatomy can predict what will enter the building next is one of its greatest features. It might be a guy in dire need of a life-saving transplant or a toddler who just needs a short round of antibiotics. In Can't Fight Biology, Jake Fisher, a youngster who needs to have his leg amputated in order to combat his illness, is presented to the team. Given that Fisher was also a gifted ballet dancer, it is obvious that this was a very tough choice for him. He chooses to execute an emotional dance sequence that brings the surgeons to tears rather than just informing them this, despite Fisher's remarkable talent. This scenario just appears completely absurd. Additionally, this scene seems very inappropriate when talking about sensitive subjects like cancer. Fans of Grey's Anatomy appear to be tolerant of nearly anything after watching many episodes, but for most viewers, Izzy having sex with Denny's spirit is too much. It is hardly surprising that Izzy is tormented by her partner's death and feels as though she sees him everywhere after losing him. Allowing her to have sex with someone who is physically absent is a hefty ask, even though this episode examines the lunacy of sorrow. Many fans contend that these ties that bind ignores Izzy's anguish in addition to the awkward atmosphere of this episode. Izzy is obviously having difficulty just getting by each day, while Meredith and Christina are going about their daily lives as usual. Therefore, her strange liaison with Denny just serves to exacerbate an already severe injury. Despite her exceptional surgical skills, April Kepner's insecurity is undeniable. She therefore frequently comes across as an outsider, particularly in contrast to the other ladies of Grey Sloan. Therefore, April seems to be considerably more restrained while Christina and Lexi are preoccupied with their most recent liaisons. In Super Freak, April is often made fun of by the locals for being a virgin. Some may find this bizarre, but what's more crazier is that these physicians are furiously talking about it at work. Fans feel that the residents should be more concerned with saving lives than April's romantic life, yet it would be fair if they worked in a regular workplace. The episode's song Beneath the Song is highly controversial, and regrettably, some viewers didn't like Grey Sloan's rendition of a few songs. Many viewers thought the continuous singing was a little annoying, especially while a beloved character is in a coma and struggling for her life. Audiences just thought the musical portions were too awkward, despite the cast's extraordinary talent. In addition, several of the couples talk about having sex during a musical act in this episode. Granted, this is quite normal for Grey's Anatomy, but again, it seems completely out of place in the situation. All things considered, the notorious musical episode continues to rank among the least beloved by viewers.